Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video we're going to be doing a full face using e.l.f. cosmetics, and I just realized that my camera battery is low and I should have charged my camera. I forgot I used it this week. So today I'm going to be doing a full face using e.l.f. cosmetics, and not only that, but I'm also going to be jumping on the bandwagon a little bit and showing you guys how to do the Foxy eye makeup trend, which I recently did right here, and you guys loved it so much on my Instagram. I was like shocked because I didn't think that it was gonna like be much of a success, I guess you could say. A few of you guys asked me for a tutorial on it. Either you guys DM'd me or put it in the comments, and I was like, oh okay, yeah, for sure. And then I was thinking, well, I've been wanting to do a full face using e.l.f. for a while because I got a request probably a year ago to do that, and I just never got around to it because I moved so many times, and honestly it just kind of slipped my mind. But I was like, wow, this would be the perfect opportunity to try out some new e.l.f. products because there are a bunch of new launches that recently came out, and I recently tried out their hydrating concealer and I was like so obsessed with it that I was like, I want to try the rest of their stuff and see if it's any good. Because I've tried e.l.f. before in the past and it was alright. It wasn't like the best thing I ever tried in my life. I know that they've changed so many things about the brand, so I really wanted to do a full face using e.l.f. and see what products I like, what products I don't like, and also show you guys how to do this technique. Because e.l.f. is so affordable, I feel like you guys can recreate the same exact look using either the same products or very similar products, or you guys probably already own these products. So that's like kind of my thought process behind making this video. I already had some e.l.f. products, but I also purchased some other e.l.f. products too. I had to order from Ulta and from the website because they didn't have everything I wanted on Ulta. So hopefully, I mean, I think I have every single thing that I need. So the only thing I'm not going to be using are e.l.f. brushes because I have so many brushes, and honestly I wasn't going to buy more e.l.f. brushes or more makeup brushes when I already have so many, even though I could make that same case for all this makeup that I have here, but whatever. So anyway, we're gonna start right away. We're gonna start off with the primer. So I'm gonna use the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. So I've already been trying this for a little while and I really like it. It's pretty good. I like to use it with like a foundation brush. This is a Luxie 510 foundation brush, and I just kind of wipe it on the areas. And the reason why I like using a brush for this is because I don't want to put my hands inside of the product and like have bacteria grow in it, you know. But then what I'll do is I take my fingers and then I massage it onto my face. And then I'm also going to put a little bit on my eyes too, just because I don't have an eyeshadow primer from e.l.f. I thought I did. I think I do. It's in my makeup kit, but I just can't find it. So we're just going to work without it. Then I'm going to go ahead and use the e.l.f. Ultra Precise Brow Pencil. So I've already tried this out this week when I got it. I think I got this last week, and on Wednesday I used this to recreate a makeup look, and I love this brow pencil so much. What we're gonna go ahead and do, this is like the key step to like the Foxy brow look, is doing your brows. So on that makeup look that I did, I used a lot of like concealer to like conceal these brow hairs down here, because the point is like you want a more straight brow that's gonna kind of give you a brow lift like that, right? But as you guys can see, my brow goes like this. And a lot of people, they shave the end of their eyebrow here, but what I just do is I take the brow pencil. This is in the shade Brunette, by the way. So I take the brow pencil, draw a straight line, and then once I get to the end of my eyebrow right here, instead of going down like this, I'm just gonna go out like this. So straight out, all the way out. And those brow hairs that are right there, I'm gonna cover it up with a little bit of concealer. You can use like glue to like block out your eyebrow, but I don't have any glue, and plus it's so much work. So that's what the brow looks like. So you can obviously still see this part, but if I cover that, like, it looks like my eyebrows going straight out, you know? So it's gonna kind of give you more of that lifted brow look. And then I just comb the brows up. And I'm gonna do the same thing on the other brow real quick. So I went ahead and filled in both of the brows. I really love this brow pencil because it's so creamy and pigmented, and it just works really, really well. So I'm gonna go ahead and set my brows real quick with the Wow Brow from e.l.f. Everything is from e.l.f., so I'm not gonna say where it's from. This is the shade Brunette, and the cool thing about this one is it has little, like, I don't know if you can see it that well, but it has little fibers in the actual formula, so it's gonna give you more fluffier brows. So I'm just gonna go ahead and comb this up, and this is a little bit lighter than the brow pencil, I feel, but I like it though because it gives my brows some nice dimension so they don't look so flat, and I feel like it kind of dries down and looks pretty normal. So then we're gonna go ahead and take some concealer, and so I originally bought the concealer at Target. This is the tan sand color, so I thought it was gonna work for me, and it kind of does, but I feel like when I put it on it looks too dark because I've lost some color since moving to Missouri, you know. So then I ordered the shade lighter on Ulta, and this is the shade medium golden, so I thought golden was gonna give me that nice yellow color I want, but it's kind of more on the pinkier side, I think. So this is the tan sand, and this is the golden one. I don't really know which color I like better. This one is the medium golden shade. It is definitely lighter and does brighten me up more, which is what I want. And the reason why I'm going to use this one is because it's going to give me more of a lift to my eyebrow. So what we're really going to focus on is this end here, and then we're going to carve the rest out. I'm going to go ahead and put the most product right there, really cover that up. And what I do is I kind of go this way, like underneath the brow and then over the brow again, because it's going to really help to conceal the eyebrow hairs that are there. You'll still see them a little bit, but not like really noticeable. Now I'm just using this Bogeshi concealer brush, nothing too fancy about it. I'm just going to take the rest of the concealer and just apply it onto my eyelid. Now I'm just kind of patting it right there. And then I really want to brighten up this part of my eye too. Take my finger to blend anything else out. And that's pretty much what it looks like. So you can see how that brow right there looks like I shaved it off or something. And it's very lifted, like more like this. Brows are the most important part of this look, to be really honest, because it's going to give you that lift. There we go. Now we have a nice lifted brow right there. That's what I'm talking about. Like this part, it's a little tedious. You might have to add a little more concealer. I blended it out a little too much. Oh, so much better. So you guys see the difference? Like, see how you can still see this brow hair here, but here you can't really see it that much. I mean, obviously if you look really, really close, you might be able to see it. Ain't nobody gonna be that close to my face. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the other brow off camera real quick, only because my camera is kind of dying, so I'm charging it in between steps. So I'll be right back. So my eyebrows are in place. So you guys can see, you can barely even see that. And literally what I do, like, just in case, I still feel like this brow is kind of playing me a bit here. Hold on. So what I'm doing mostly is just like taking the concealer brush and really just packing it kind of downwards like this, and I feel like that's not gonna really show the brow. Like, it's gonna lay it down and also cover it up. So you guys can see my brows look pretty like straight. You almost want Spock brows, but you want them to curve down just a tiny bit, like arch down a little bit, so that they look pretty normal. So then I'm gonna use a little bit of the sheer under eye setting powder. This is a free gift with purchase, and I'm just gonna take a little brush, and what I'm gonna do is just really set that concealer underneath my eyebrow, mostly in the outer corner there, and that's just gonna make sure that that stays in place. And when you blend any eyeshadow on top, it's not gonna mess anything up. Know what I'm saying? So you guys already can see I have somewhat of a little brow lift moment going on here. So then I'm gonna take the e.l.f. bite-size eyeshadow in the color Truffle. So I felt like this would be a perfect like everyday nude smoky eye like palette, because you have your 3 mattes here, a black, a dark brown, and like a nice chocolatey mid-tone color, and then you have a nice pretty shimmer color. So what we're gonna go ahead and do is we're gonna take this middle shade right here. This is only $3, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead, it's gonna be kind of hard to do because I need to see in a mirror. We're gonna take a straight like object, so you can use a tube, you can use cardboard, whatever. This is like the top of one of the e.l.f. products, and I'm just gonna go ahead and like kind of where my lower lash line is right here, I'm gonna go right underneath that where it ends and use that as my guide right here. So I'm gonna take a little bit of that truffle shade or that mid-tone brown shade on a Crown C511 brush, and I'm just gonna go ahead and kind of do like a little wing with it. You can build up the intensity. Bam! So you see that? See how it's like almost connected on that lower lash line, and then it just kind of lifts up, and then you want the end of your eyebrow right here, so pretend like you're drawing a line all the way up and you want it to like end right there where the eyebrow is. So then I'm just going over that again because I want to make sure that line isn't super harsh, and you can bring it up pretty high too. The higher you bring it up, I feel like the more lifted your eye looks. So this is always hard because you want to make sure that they kind of match up. You know what I always say is don't stress out too much about how perfect both of them are, because nobody is looking at both of your eyes. There we go. We have that line there. And then I'm going to take a little more. And I'm just going to blend out the edges. Connected to my lower lash line there, but blend out the edges too. And then I'm going to take a little more of that same color. I'm not switching anything up. And I'm just kind of messily applying that there, so you guys see how my eyes look kind of lifted. So then I'm going to take a smaller brush. This is a Pixie EO3 brush, and I'm going to take the darker brown right here, and I'm going to go ahead and just kind of deepen things up a little bit on the outer corner. Probably isn't the best brush for this, but whatever. I just want it precision, and then we can blend it back out in a second. So again, we really want to make sure that we're focusing the deepest, darkest color kind of like on the wing right here, the outer corner, and then just kind of buffing it inwards towards the eye into nothingness. And I just use little small like flicks when I'm applying the eyeshadow to kind of blend it in. Going back in with that mid-tone brown shade right here, the crown brush again, and I picked the crown brush over my Morphe M433 brush only because the crown brush is a little smaller, so I feel like I can be a little more precise with this. And we really want to just focus this on the outer corner of the eye. We don't want to go too deep or too far onto the eyelid. Focusing all that color mostly on that outer corner, and it just kind of buffs out. So this is what it looks like right now. So you guys can kind of see how it's already kind of lifting my eyes to look more like that. So what I'm gonna do, because when I lift it like this, I see how it just kind of like almost curves up. That's just my eye how it does it. So I'm just gonna bring this up a little higher, almost like on the end of my eyebrow right there. And that's just gonna lift that. So obviously you wanna like play around with it and do stuff that works for your eyes. This is what works for my eyes. I have pretty large eyes, a lot of lid space, so I have to apply a lot more eyeshadow to really make it look lifted. Then I'm going to take that same little paper again, and this is just going to be kind of like for my guide. I'm going to take the black in the palette on a Morphe M507 brush. So this has a little pointed tip to it, and all I'm going to do is just really darken up this outer lash line right here. Kind of like that. So we're almost creating like a wing, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that and blend it inwards towards the eye. So I'm kind of doing like small little circles Taking a little bit more of the product because we do have some harshness here. Hope you guys can see this well. I'm gonna zoom you guys in a little more so you can see it really well. Okay, so you guys can see what I'm doing. So you guys can see how that one looks. We are gonna clean this up right here because once we clean this up, it's gonna kind of lift the eye like that and not look as smoky and crazy. The crown brush again, and just go over on top of all that we just did. And just buff out all the edges, make sure there's no harsh lines. So that's what you want it to look like. It's gonna work, I promise. Just trust the technique, but we're mostly focusing on the outside here, so it's like you're making a wing and then blending everything inwards towards the eye. So I'm gonna do the other eye real quick and I'll be right back to show you the rest of the eyelid. All right, so this is what it looks like right now. I know it doesn't look like that Foxy eye, but we're gonna clean things up and I promise you it's gonna look like it. So we're gonna take that mid-tone brown again, and I'm taking that Pixie pencil brush, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of go like, pretend that I'm contouring my nose. So I would contour it here, and then right in here, I'm just gonna deepen this up a little bit. But I don't wanna connect it right here. I'm just kind of deepening it up and kind of letting it fade out. So I'll show you guys again. So we're pretending that we're contouring the eye, or the nose I mean, and then right there, we're just gonna add a little depth. You don't have to do this step if you don't want to, but I just feel like it really is gonna kind of elongate the eye. So then I'm gonna take this Luxie Precision Crease 246 brush, and I'm gonna grab a little bit of the concealer, and what we're gonna do is we're just gonna kind of clean up the lid and create like a blank base right here so that it looks brighter. And what we want to do is we want to kind of like, so this is usually where I would stop. Like I usually tend to like bring it closer in here and like kind of carve out my lid there. But what I'm going to do is go a little closer towards like that fake nose contour, like as if we're outlining it with the concealer. So this is going to open up the eye more. And then I'm going to follow the shape that we did with the concealer, or with the brown eyeshadow, and just kind of do like a half cut crease. And I really want to brighten up that inner corner of my eye. You can put a little bit on your tear duct right here and kind of blend downwards because we're going to use concealer anyway in a little bit. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of create like an angle right here. So I don't know if you guys can see the line that we kind of created there. You want to create that because it's going to give you more, like really emphasize the angle that we're creating on the outer corner here. And I'm just taking my finger to blend things out so you guys see the difference now. Look at this eye, like how it looks all dark, and look at this eye, how it looks more lifted. So I'm going to go ahead and do the other eye real quick and I'll be right back. So I'm going into this e.l.f. palette. This is the Kneaded Nude palette. This is what it looks like. I thought it was going to be a lot warmer, so I was actually going to use this, but this is the only warm brown. These three are like super cool, but they're really good for like brows. And then these are gorgeous shimmers. So I'm going to go ahead and take this light shade here, and I'm going to take that on a JH42 brush from Morphe. And I'm using the smallest brush that I could possibly find because I really want to be precise with this. This is what's going to really give us that nice bright-eyed look that we're going for here. And I mostly am using this for the inner part of my lid. I'm probably going to use a different brush because it's going to take me forever if I use this brush. So then I'm going to take this Lavish eye shading brush. I'm going to mix a little bit of the pink in there too, that like pinky nude. I feel like it's just going to blend it out better. And I'm also kind of emphasizing the brow bone here at this point. I know it kind of seems weird what I'm doing and like doesn't make sense, but I promise it's a lot easier than what I'm making it seem. So I'm gonna take a little bit of the shimmery color and I'm gonna put that on the inside of my eye and mostly just focus that on my inner corner. I feel like if you have smaller eyes or even hooded eyes, this is gonna be so easy for you. I'm gonna go ahead and take this black again, and I'm gonna take the Alamar Ojito eye brush. This is the flat shader brush. I'm gonna go ahead and take that and just kind of create an eyeliner with it. So see, this is gonna really like lift the brow right here, or lift the eye right here. So we're gonna put most of the emphasis right there. I want it to be really, really thick. Well, not really, really thick, but I want it to be thicker and I want it to be darker. And then what I'm gonna do is kind of tilt my head back so that my eyelid really stretches. And then I'm going to try to get as close to my lash line as possible. And we're going to make it a lot thinner as we get closer to the inner part of my eye. So it's kind of hard because I have eyelashes there, but tilt your head back and just get really, really close. So we're almost tight lining the eye right there. And then what I'm going to do is take that same brush and flick it upwards like that. And kind of lift just this outer corner. You guys already see how my eye is starting to go like this, like starting to lift. So I know it seemed so complicated. Best way I could describe it is like I'm doing this because I have larger eyes. When I like put that darker shadow in here, it's just to close up my eye here to kind of give me more like lift here. So it's gonna lift my eyes here. So that's why I put that shading in there, and then I pretty much like make all of this dark, this really, really bright and more open right here. And then this just darker and just kind of fade out this way, like upwards like that. So that's the best way I can describe this technique I'm doing. So this is where the magic happens. We're going to take some of the concealer. This is the e.l.f. Hydrating Camel Concealer in the shade Medium Golden. And I'm going to go ahead and go follow my nose contour right there. Then I'm going to take it. We're going to clean this. And we're going to go all the way pretty much up to the temple, because when we blend it out, it's going to give us that nice lifted look. Look, you can already see how that looks so lifted and that does not. This is my ColourPop silicone blender. We're just going to blend it. So as I get closer towards the outer part, I'm just kind of blending this, but I'm not going to get too close in here because I'm going to take a brush to actually blend that out. So I'm taking this BH Cosmetics Synthetic No. 5 brush. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the brush and I'm just going to use really, really light hand to blend out the edges here. Bam! So I'll be back with my other eye blended. So we're going to take the e.l.f. Flawless Finish Foundation. I got the shade Almond. This is medium with peachy undertones. It was hard to pick a shade online. Like this kind of looks like me, but then when I put it on at first, it looks too light, but then it oxidizes to a darker shade. So I'm just going to take it on the sponge. You guys see how it kind of looks too light? But then as I blend it, it kind of turns into a darker shade. Like I almost feel like this looks lighter than my concealer at first. So we just blend it out. And I found that this works best, the sponge. Doing it with my brush, it made me really cakey. So you can always go in with this brush if you want more coverage and then blend it out with the sponge. Then we're going to go in to the HD powder. This one I got in the shade Soft Illuminance. And grab a large powder brush. And we're just going to press that into the skin. It just sucks because since we're doing a full face, like I can't do my face like off camera and then come back. See how I look almost ghostly? It does look bad at first, but I promise you, I might have gotten a little tan, maybe. Looking pretty ghostly, but I promise it oxidizes, so it does get a little darker. And then once I put my bronzer on and everything, it'll look good. So then the under eye setting powder. Ooh, I grabbed way too much of this now. So I'm gonna take a little bit, take this. And this step is crucial. You want this to be super bright underneath the eye right here. And even like follow that line right there, it's gonna give you some lift. So we're gonna let that sit for a little bit. Then I'm gonna take the contour palette in the deep dark deep shade. This is what it looks like. This shade is way too dark for underneath my eyes, but the rest of them work great. Not for under my eyes, but just in general. I'm gonna take the Alamar bronzer brush and a little bit of the darkest shade. And I'm going to really make a really high upwards angle because I feel like this is going to kind of fake the illusion of a lift to the face. And I'm going to take the lighter shade, go on my jawline. Then I'm going to take that same shade, run it across my nose here, for my nose contour, and really deepen up the inner socket of the eye. I'm gonna take this Beauty Blender puff thingy, and all I do is just kind of clean up my nose contour. So I bring all that powder upwards towards my nose. So that's what we're looking like right now. Then I'm gonna take the cream blush palette from e.l.f. I bought this. I also bought this little monochromatic stick, which is actually pretty good. Just wanna make sure you snap it closed. And then I already had this one. So this is their blush palette in the shade Dark. So this is something I've had for a while, and I used to use it all the time and I absolutely love it. But I'm gonna go ahead and use this blush palette. This is in the shade Soft. I got this, I think, on the Ulta website. I'm using a tapered highlighter brush from Luxie. This is the 522 brush. And I'm just gonna go ahead and apply that to the apples of my cheeks. And I kind of just stipple it on is what I'm doing. And I like this because it works well on top of powder. I'm gonna take my brightening brush from Alamad. So this is the shimmering highlighter powder in the shade Sunset Glow from e.l.f. This is what it looks like. I'm gonna take this Moda Pro brush. I'm gonna take highlighter on the tip of the brush, and I'm gonna go ahead and apply that to the tops of my cheekbones. This is a new technique that I started doing. Snitchery does hers like this, and she's known for that, like Foxy. Everything we're following is we're following this guideline right here for all of the face. We're gonna take some black eyeliner. This is the Kohl black liner from e.l.f. Everything's from e.l.f. I just have a habit of always saying from e.l.f. What I'm gonna do is very carefully emphasize my inner corner right there. So we see that. I'm gonna connect that, connect this, and connect that. William, that's what it looks like. Then I'm gonna take this palette again and this flat liner brush, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna emphasize the dimension, the depth right here on my lower lash line, on my outer lash line. I'm gonna take a little tiny pencil brush, little tiny baby here. I'm gonna grab that matte shadow again. And what I'm gonna really focus on is brightening up this. And then what I'm gonna do is kind of take it and go underneath that black that we just emphasized. So you guys see that? You see how this is gonna lift the eye right there compared to this eye? And I'm gonna set my face with the Makeup Mist and Set from e.l.f. This is just the regular one, clear. I love this stuff. Alrighty, so I had to finish one eye off camera. You guys can see we have some lashes going on here. I went ahead and used the Length and Volume mascara. It's alright. So then I'm going to use these lashes that I actually cut up. These are the, I don't know her name, times Luxe Lash Kit multi-dimensional lashes for full volume and length. I absolutely hated these lashes. I bought them because I wanted to try out some e.l.f. lashes because they looked promising, but I kind of like them cut up. So what I did was I just kind of cut them in half. This is the other half of this one right here. So I'm just going to go ahead and take this half of my eyelash. You want something that's going to really like taper from short to long, and we just want to take half of that so you can fit it to the eyeball. So I'm going to use my Kiss lash glue. This is the clear lash glue. Hold it at the center of the lash right there. Make sure it's nice and tacky, and then what we're gonna do to really like lift up the eye right here is I'm almost gonna apply the lashes. Instead of like applying it like straight down like this, I'm gonna kind of like do it straight out. So I don't know if you guys can see this. I'm trying to show you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and apply it at the center of the lash right there. Then I'm going to take it with my eye closed, and I'm going to make that nice and straight. I put way too much lash glue on this lash right here. Looks a little crazy. What we're going to do, push the lash up right there. And then just to make sure that you don't have like this blank space here, I'm going to take some of the black eyeshadow on that little tiny pencil brush and just almost fill in that blank spot. And as I let that dry, I'm gonna go ahead and quickly do my lips. Nothing crazy. I'm just using this plumping lip gloss in the shade Mocha Twist. So this is pretty much what the finished look looks like. So you guys can see how my eyes are like nice and lifted. I'm gonna wear this for the rest of the day, and I'm gonna come back actually at night, and I'm gonna tell you guys the products I liked and the products I didn't like. So see you guys in a bit. So as you guys can see, I kind of changed my shirt because the other shirt I had on was kind of uncomfortable. It was just like kind of scratching my neck a little bit, and I didn't feel like wearing it anymore. But this is what my makeup looks like after an hour of wearing everything. I'm pretty impressed with the fact that we were able to achieve this with e.l.f. makeup. I think for the price, it's a great brand to definitely like check out, especially like if you want to try out something and not sure if that product is for you. I feel like trying it out through e.l.f. first would probably be your better bet, because you're not going to be spending a whole bunch of money. It's pretty affordable already. You can use coupons on it at Ulta too. Some things I will say are like pretty cheap. Like I would say probably the complexion is the one thing that I'm not a big fan of, like the powder, the under eye setting powder. I was not a big fan of this. The HD powder, I did get the illuminating one, but I feel like I still look super dry even with the illuminating one. I wasn't a big fan of that either. But I did like the foundation, and I love the concealer. It gives you really good coverage, and I feel like it has a really wide selection. Cream blush palette that I can't get open. That's the only thing. These packagings are so hard to open. But I'm really impressed with this. I haven't tried this shade out, but I have tried all these shades, and I'm really, really impressed with it. This little thing here, even though I didn't use it in the video, the monochromatic multi-stick is actually really, really nice. I like using it like as a quick like little blush. You take the brush and just kind of stipple it on. You can also use it as on your lips too, or you can put it on your eye. The only thing is that it does have like glitter in it, so I don't like that. The shimmering powder is really, really nice. It is a little like textury, but I feel like it's a stunning color, and it will definitely suit a lot of people. The plumping lip gloss definitely does plump the lips up. I can feel like a little tingle, but it's not too crazy. The only thing I do wish that they did have lip liners, so I did have to use another lip liner from a different brand. The eyeshadow is actually pretty decent considering that this is $3. I feel like this is a really good like on the go smoky eye, and you have your basic colors here. The lashes, I don't like the lashes, but cutting them in half and using them just as half lashes were actually really nice, and I feel like I would probably do that more often with these lashes, just because the lashes kind of look almost fake. But I feel like when you cut them, they don't look fake, and you can kind of like almost place them however you want. The brow products, I do really like the Micro Ultra Precise Brow Pencil. Again, I'm in the shade, this one's actually deep brown. And then I am on the fence about the brow gel. It's not the best thing ever, but it's pretty decent. I already liked the primer. I've tried this before, and it definitely is a must-have. And the setting spray is a pretty good setting spray if you're on a budget and you need a good setting spray. I feel like it does. I used to wear it all the time in Florida, and it holds up in humidity. So that's all I have for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what brands you guys want to see me do next. I already have another brand that I'm going to do after this. Not today, but like another brand that I'm going to do. And I hope you guys learned something with this technique. I know you guys are probably tired of seeing the fox eye or the foxy eye, whatever it's called, but I wanted to show you guys because you guys requested it, and I feel like it is a really pretty look. If you guys ever want to do something like more sultry or whatever, definitely try it out. So thank you guys again for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then,